You got it. Here we are with another episode of Talking Sports with the Legend. Tonight's guest is Liam O'Toole.
Where are you from?
I live in Summerton in Northeast Philadelphia. I used to live in Fox Chase, but I moved when I was younger.
Where did you go to high school?
I attended my freshman year. I went to LaSalle, and then sophomore year I transferred to Archbishop O'Brien, and that's where I graduated, class of 2020.
Oh,
Where he went to grade school.
where did you go to grade school?
I went to St. Christopher's and Summerton. It's my parish and everything.
What made you pick Bloomberg?
They have a rich history in wrestling, and it's Division I, and I want to be on TV someday. So hopefully, I can make my dream come true.
How many different colleges were looking at you?
I applied to like 30 colleges, and it was like D1, D2, D3. So I had a pretty good recruitment.
Oh,
That's a great idea, applying to all them schools. That's what I tell people to do.
Yeah.
You take your SATs early and you fill out 3 schools on that one, and then you start applying your junior year, your spring side, and then start taking them again if you think you didn't do good enough.
Yeah, the best thing you could do is apply as many colleges. See where you're at.
Yeah, absolutely.
what age did you start playing sports?
I started when I was 4. I think my first sport was t-ball, and then I got into football, and then wrestling followed right after that.
So what age did you start wrestling?
When I was 4.
Where did you wrestle at 4 years old?
So Ben Salem had a youth program like with their high school team. So I used to go there a lot, and then I bounced around a lot growing up. I went to Chamonix. I went to places in New Jersey, a bunch of places in Philly, just anywhere I could get to wrestle and get better, honestly.
That's great. My high school was North Catholic High School, and they had a very rich tradition with wrestlers. And one of the famous MMA fighters now, Eddie Alvarez. Yeah, and they had a program. Yeah, they had a program way back when I was a kid. I was going to school, and I graduated in '81, so I'm a lot older than you. And it was unbelievable. And so in your case, like when I got the freshman year, they asked me to be on the wrestling team, and I have to admit, I don't have the dedication that you had, but it was practice back in high school every day at North. You had to go every day, showed up. It was like 6:30 in the morning or 7:00. And then you worked out, and then you took a shower, and then you went to school. And then after school, you practiced again. Oh, God. And I said, one of the kids raised his hand, and he says, do we get off for Christmas and Thanksgiving and New Year's? And he said, well, no, back then he says, we're going to have practice, but you could sleep a little bit on Christmas Day. We're not, he goes, we're not that mean. Yeah. And he had to go in at like 11:00 on Christmas Day.
Even when you were playing soccer, you started to go.
Yeah, the soccer season didn't overlap. That's why the one kid I sat next to in one of the classes was a real good wrestler. His name was Tommy Cole. And he was great. He was like all Catholic, first team, and then he won. So that was cool about wrestling when I was in school. They did play against like everybody, at the end and all. And they started.
The program ended. It's a shame.
Shit, it is. But go ahead, Steve. I'm sorry to talk about North, but I was curious with him. At 4 years old,
I used to wrestle for the program. Right before it closed.
What's that?
I used to wrestle for the program right before it closed.
Get out. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you said a couple places in Philly, that's why I was wondering if you ever were down there.
Yeah.
That's great, man.
All my high school coaches from Ryan, and they're all from the PCL, and North Catholic is like really rich in our whole like family aspect of the team.
That's awesome. So one of the questions I was saying to Steven was about the weight class. So at Ryan, what weight did you start out at?
Well, I'm gonna start from my freshman year. My freshman year at LaSalle, I wrestled 106. My sophomore year when I transferred to Ryan, I wrestled 120. My junior year, I wrestled 138, and my senior year, I wrestled 152.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. See, because a lot of the kids, we had one guy that was real small, and he was like 106, like I think 3 years in a row, and he was,
Yeah.
oh man, no one could beat him, man. Nobody could beat him.
It's a lot of discipline, like with your weight and stuff. If you choose to cut weight, you gotta make sure you're eating right, drinking a lot of water. It's a lot of discipline.
Oh yeah, these guys used to run around the gym, Steve, in them suits that make them sweat.
Mhm.
And they had to keep drinking water because you would dehydrate
Mhm.
otherwise. And then, I mean, you would, if you weren't drinking enough water,
Mhm.
then you go to the bathroom. You know about doing that, right,
Mhm.
Steve? Steve, he drinks 6 bottles of water a day.
Steve.
Now, like, what happened? Would anybody ever have to forfeit if they're not, like, if they didn't make the weight, they didn't make
But
that weight?
yeah, like if you don't make the weight, you don't wrestle. So you have to make the weight, and you have no choice. So you do whatever you can to make that weight.
So how often in high school did you ever face somebody who didn't make the weight?
Rarely,
Mhm.
because that kid would be running all the way up to Wayans, doing something. You would have to try and make the weight. If you don't make the weight, your coach would be very mad at you.
So you never missed the weight away
No,
in?
I've missed a weight before. I've had some really bad cuts. Like I think the most I've ever cut is like 25 pounds, and I had to do that in like 2 weeks.
Oh,
Yeah, that was rough.
God bless you. Oh,
Are you guys wrestling this year in college?
Yeah, we're wrestling this year, but we're only having a month season. But I'm not wrestling this year because I'm not gonna be able to make the lineup and stuff. So basically, I'm just gonna sit back and like train and get better this year, and watch my team go to war. Have hopefully see some good action, see some kids go to the NCAA's. It'd be awesome.
and what year are you this year?
I'm a freshman.
Oh, that's great. That's
Yeah.
great. So,
Now, do people have to wear masks that are wrestling?
We have to wear masks for practice, but I'm not sure about matches yet. I hope they don't because it's really hard wrestling with a mask on. You can barely breathe, and it gets you really tired and just basically suffocates you. So I hope people don't have to do that.
yeah, what I was thinking they could come up with something a little more feasible, like how the old time WWF wrestlers, with the face, no,
Yeah,
the full
yeah,
mask.
Oh, yeah.
So then you could get some kind of thing across your mouth,
Mhm.
where it's like a material, and
yeah.
and if some people wear mouthpieces, maybe encourage everybody to wear a mouthpiece. And I don't know. I mean, it's just sad because that's what I said to Steven. I said, I can't wait for Steven to ask that question.
Yeah. No, what's kind of weird to me is like we wrestle and like honestly we're touching other people and they're making us wear a mask and like I kind of think it defeats the whole purpose of it if you're
Yeah,
already touching other
you're
people.
right, because you're touching hand to hand combat. You're
Yeah,
Mhm.
sweating on each other.
literally, yeah.
You're right. No, you're right. It's a tough sport to be doing it. Did you ever go into other types of self defense like jujitsu and stuff like
I
that?
did I did boxing a little when I was a kid, a little bit of jujitsu, but nothing like serious. Like I never competed in anything.
Yeah, I always wondered that about you guys now, like the kids nowadays who wrestle, because back in the day, a lot of that stuff wasn't readily available, and if it was, our parents didn't have no money to
Yeah.
be like sending you off to school. So your parents and my generation, we tried to give our kids what we couldn't get, and it's awesome to see you guys take advantage of a lot of this stuff that your parents are doing for you. So that's
You guys
awesome.
are doing a great job.
Yeah, that's awesome though, man. It really is. It's awesome that you're able to they were able to drive you all over the place. From 4 years old till now, you're what, 19 years old?
Yep, 19.
God bless you.
Do do you have a role model?
Role model.
Other
Shoot.
than your father, because you better say your father. But I try to cut
That's
people
what I
off.
was thinking
Steve
first.
wants to know, like outside of like within the wrestling community. And if
Then
your
the
dad was a wrestler, then I'll shut up.
um, whew, that's a tough question. I mean, I kind of just look around and like the people around my life, see like
Well, that's great. Yeah.
how they treat me and stuff. I mean, my late grandfather, like he was a real big role model in my life, and I really looked up to him. So I would say like he's still a big role model in my life, and I still like think about him all the time.
That's an awesome answer, man. It really is. Because a lot of people hit us with the father or mother. And I try to tell them, yeah, Steven's looking for that like guy that you grew up with and you wanted to wrestle like him. You went to wrestle him because he wrestled and that kind of stuff. And I said to Steven, sometimes that doesn't happen like it did in our old neighborhoods. It
Yeah,
was a lot different back then, like you said, you grew up in the Somerton area, right?
yeah. No, there wasn't a lot of wrestlers in my area. Like
Yeah.
I grew up meeting wrestlers that were kids that were like an hour, 30 minutes away from me. Like I
Yeah.
didn't have too many friends in the sport until I got to high school.
That's all. That's unbelievable. That's what I was wondering because you said at 4 years old you started wrestling because that's what me and him were talking about.
Mhm.
Because most people played other sports besides what they concentrated
Yeah.
on in high school. Go ahead, bud.
How far have you traveled for a match or tournament?
The farthest, I'd say Florida. I went to Disney duels when my junior summer going into senior year, I got All American.
Wow.
Congratulations. That's awesome, man.
Thank you.
What was your record that year?
Well, it was like a dual tournament, like a dual national. So I was on a team from PA, and I went 8-2, and I got silver All American.
So now how many days was that?
That was a week.
Okay. So like Steven had a question for you. Steve, ask him about in between matches.
Do you have time to how do you keep your mind how would you say how
Well,
do you
keep your mind active or
Yeah.
focused.
focus? Yeah.
Yeah.
From match to match.
Mhm.
Yeah, because he said, like, do you do more than one match in a day? And I said, I
Yeah,
think you
yeah.
do.
Like it depends if it's a team match. If it's a team match, you'll most likely have one match. But like if it's a dual tournament, which is like your team versus another team, you could have
Uh-huh.
multiple matches.
Right.
And there's individual tournaments where it's just you like in a bracket and like you could place whatever.
Right.
And going back to your question, so like from match to match, my mentality is like, say I lose a match, I get back up and like that's whatever. Like I go up to the next match, like I'm gonna beat this kid. I go into every match looking, I'm gonna beat this kid no matter what. Like I don't care who he is, I don't care where he's from, I don't care how many championships he's won. But that's the biggest mentality in wrestling for me because you're not scared of anyone, and it travels into my life too. Like I'm not scared of people, and I'm able to like confront people and talk to them. And honestly, wrestling, putting it into your life and stuff like it helps a lot.
Very good discipline.
How
Yeah.
did you do? How did you do last year?
Last year, I went 34-6. I qualified for states my senior year. I was the second person from Archbishop Ryan ever to do it. And
Congratulations. That's awesome, man.
yeah, thank you. I didn't do that well at states. I should have done a lot better. I wasn't really happy with it, but I'm in college now, so like I gotta move forward from that. Hopefully get to the NCAA title.
How tall are you?
I'm like 5'9".
Okay. And then you were playing wrestling at 152.
Yeah.
That's good. I often ask people the height and weight question because a lot of people don't get a chance to see it because they're sitting down and you could be 6'10" for all we know. And I know wrestlers are generally not like 6'5" guys. One of my things I always wondered about was maintaining that 152 like in college. Is your idea in college to do what you did in high school, keep getting
I was
stronger?
Yeah. So I walk around like 165, 170 right now, and my plan for college was to go down to either 41 or 49 because that would be the best like option for me to wrestle. But for now, like I'm just getting bigger and stronger and seeing where I can end up next year.
Yeah, because that's one of my main things that I always wondered about because in soccer, I that's what I played. And in high school, I started out, like I said, at like a 106. Senior year, I graduated and I was like 165. But that's when I started getting a little bit heavier, and that's when I got stronger and more
Bigger,
developed.
yeah.
And in wrestling, it's the same thing. But then once you get to that 165, you can get back down to the 150 and still have that strength because you're all
Yeah,
toned and
yeah.
everything. That was a funny term when you said walking around weight. That's my new one, Steve. I'm gonna say my walking around weight's 180, but my real weight.
I call it my fat weight.
Yeah, well, exactly. I got what you meant though. So because he's not wrestling now, he likes to do something that one of your favorite hobbies. What's your favorite hobby, Steve?
Food.
Yeah,
Me and you
but he
both.
does that 6 bottles of water a day.
Yeah.
What was the biggest match you ever had?
It wasn't the biggest match, but I'd say it was one of my favorite matches because my junior year, I wrestled this kid, and I just came off of an ankle injury. I broke my ankle. I came off, and I was wrestling him, and we went into overtime, and I lost him, and I knew I could beat this kid because he wasn't that good. I knew I could beat him really bad. So the next year, I knew I was gonna wrestle him again, so I was training for him. I went out there and pinned him like it was nothing, and it was one of my favorite matches because it was just like getting that retaliation against him because he was talking a lot of crap against me and all that, and I was just,
Oh man, I tell you, high school wrestling ain't nothing like it, man. So
Yeah.
what school was he from? You can tell us.
Lower Moreland.
Lower Mo. Oh, that's our school. That's where the kids in our street go to high school.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Do you have a favorite band or artist?
Favorite band? Say ooh. I love Zach Brown Band.
Nice. That's a different answer.
Yeah.
Your favorite food?
Favorite food? Steve Francis Steaks cheesesteak.
Steven loves them all, and he had those cheesesteak people out there want to send free cheesesteaks. Steven likes them all. Right, Steve?
Who's your favorite athlete?
My favorite athlete? Probably Conor McGregor.
Nice.
I love him.
Oh, I heard he had a bad one the other night, huh?
I was so upset.
Yeah, everybody I know was rooting for him. It's funny.
Poirier had a really good fight though.
Well, these guys, like you said, nobody in your sport, nobody's afraid of each other. You can't be. You think you're going to win every time out there. Otherwise, what's the point of wrestling if you're not going to pin the guy every chance you get?
Right. Exactly.
How would your teammates describe you off the field or off the mat?
Off the mat.
I'd say goofy, funny. Say I'm pretty caring for my friends. I don't know. I could be a little like mean sometimes to them, but like in a good way. I don't know. Like I like to be real with people.
Ask him his major.
What is your major?
So I came in as undeclared, and I'm deciding between a business major and our pre-physical therapy.
Nice.
I want to work with athletes, and if not, I just want to make money.
Well, you go into sports management if you do good management, right? Bloomberg probably has a curriculum, right?
Yeah, they do actually.
Bloomberg's a great university, by the way.
No, it is.
Yeah, I didn't know they had that great. I'm not a big, high school. I wasn't into high school wrestling, so I knew, which high schools were good, but I didn't always know like the big. Stephen one time had a chance to go to Iowa State for Special Olympics.
Yeah.
Remember, and they were supposed to, they always had a real good program, right?
Yeah, their program's really good.
Yeah, I remember that.
My team didn't even qualify now.
I'll tell you what I do watch, like you said about being on TV. I do watch when the NCAAs were on. I watch the Olympics all the time. I find, wrestling's one of the toughest things to do. Really is, and I find it. The best athletes I think are wrestlers.
What division? You got Division I?
Yeah, it's Division I. We're the only Division I program at the school.
Yeah, how
Oh,
about
wow,
that?
'cause,
Because
yeah,
he was about to say, go ahead, Steve, say it.
you guys, I know most of them aren't division, like soccer's and all that about
Yeah,
division.
every other
Yeah.
sports division too.
Yeah. He knows because he helps out at Holy Family.
Yeah,
You
we
know
played
that,
him-
right?
we played him
HFU Steve.
one time, I think. I don't
Yeah, you
remember.
did. Yeah, you played Bloomsburg.
Oh,
I
yeah,
remember.
well, that's where I didn't go
I
though.
remember. There's
Yeah, well,
a team in his conference called Bloomfield that they
Bloomfield.
play every year. And then they played Bloomsburg the one time
Well,
when
yeah, we only played him once up there.
yeah, it was a long
I didn't get to go.
that's let me guess, 3 hours?
It's 2 hours from me. Yeah.
2 hours. 2 hours.
Yeah. It's just straight though. You just
Yeah.
get on the northeast extension.
Yeah. Yeah, my son went to Kutztown.
Oh yeah, that's not too far.
Nah, it was like an hour and 15 minutes from used to live up around Northeast High School.
Oh really? Yeah.
Yeah, that's where Stephen he was 10 years old. We moved up there. And then his high school years he went to Doherty. They had a special program at Doherty, which moved on to McDevitt.
Oh,
And yeah, they're currently at McDevitt now.
I don't know what they're doing next.
They don't know. We don't know what they're doing next year. There was rumors they were going to go next to you guys up at Ryan, that school right next to it, St. Catherine's.
wait, St. Martha's?
Yeah, St. Martha. Sorry. Yeah,
Oh,
but I don't know what the situation all
Yeah.
is. That was a long time ago for Big Steve. He's going to be 34 this year.
Mhm.
All his YouTube fans.
You don't look 34. You still look like you're in your 20s, man.
No, that's because he shaved, man. He shaved. You just see this guy before he shaves. He's unbelievable. He's a wolf man. I told him to grow a beard for the pandemic. He wouldn't do it.
Come on.
Do
See?
you have any hobbies?
I like video games. I like playing like Madden, 2K.
Uh-oh. Do you do it live?
Live? Nah.
The legend
I'm
will
not
challenge
good.
him, man. He's on there.
Mhm.
I know Steve's pretty good.
Yeah, man.
Hold up, we're frozen here.
Are you? Oh no. He's not frozen.
All right, I'm
What?
good. I'm good.
Good, okay.
What's your favorite thing to do in your free time?
Free time. Maybe go for a run, go out to eat, listen to music.
And play his video
Play
games.
video games.
How often do you run?
I try to do it at least like once a week the most, but if I'm practicing, I don't really run that much. I try to like during the pandemic, I was working out a lot and up until the summer, and then stopped for a while. I had knee surgery, and then I'm just getting back into working out again because my knees finally better.
Yeah, that's another question I was going to ask you when you said about the ankle,
Yeah.
your ankle breaking. How many, different injuries have you had over the course of your, 10,
forgot
your 8, you start at 4 in your 9, so 15-year career. So how many different injuries? A lot?
Yeah, I broke my hand twice, broke fingers, broke my wrist, broke my ankle. I had reconstructive foot surgery.
Oh,
I had knee surgery.
geez.
I've had a few concussions, but I don't know. I never like undiagnosed concussions because I just
Yeah. I know. Now that's why I said it's hard, nowadays when you say concussion. So I understand you got your bell rung is what they used to call it, but it's tough, and especially in that sport. You guys always wear the headgear though, right?
Yeah. I had last year I had a real bad one going into districts. Like I got slammed on my head and I got knocked out in the final.
Now, wait, did that guy get
Yeah, he got disqualified,
Right.
but like, I didn't even know it happened. But I had to wrestle the next week to go to states, so I had to place top 4 at this tournament to go, and I wrestled with a concussion and I qualified.
unbelievable? Wow. God bless you, man. Well, keep your head straight though, man. That's the one thing I worry about, man, because I split my head open a couple times playing soccer, and thank God I never really had any
PT's
concussion
scary.
symptoms. I didn't get sick. I didn't throw up, didn't pass out, but for a split second, when you first, you don't realize you're bleeding, you go try to get up kind of thing.
Yeah, it's scary.
Yeah, it is. But wrestling's a lot tougher and physically on your body than a lot of people understand. Because he's gonna be
Definitely.
down there on the ground with his knees, his ankle.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Do you have any tips for younger athletes?
I would just say keep persistence. If stuff's not working for you, you just gotta keep going after it. You can get mad at yourself all you want, but if you're not putting in the work, you're not gonna get any better. I'd say the biggest thing for me is I put in the work in high school and it got me to college wrestling. And that was the plan the whole time. That's why I stopped playing every other sport. I focused on what I could do to get better each step, and I followed through.
It's funny, we had interviewed a 16-year-old, soon to be 17, and an 18-year-old, and now a 19-year-old, and all three of you gave the same advice.
Mhm.
Once you get to a certain age and you got to focus on that sport, and one's a pro at 16 and his sport, and the other, you or both the other ones are both going to school on scholarship, and that was my whole thing about playing. My dad saw it as a way for me to go to college, and my brothers really didn't do it. My one brother went to Camden County Community College and played soccer, but I took advantage of a couple scholarship offers, and I took one of them, obviously, and
Awesome.
graduated. I was so proud of myself for the fact that I graduated in 4 years. A
Yeah.
lot of people would drop out. They thought they were going to become a pro wrestler or something, like whatever sport they were into.
Yeah.
What?
Things just don't work out.
Now you got to study, man, and you have to have some ambition in the books, like you do on the sports field.
Yeah.
What motivates you?
Oh, that's a good one.
What motivates me?
Mhm.
Uh, the fact that I don't like losing.
That's great.
I hate it so much, and it just drives me every time. Every single time I lose, it just makes me want to work harder because I know I can beat that person.
Wow, you know what I just realized? Thank you, Liam. I think that's what motivates you.
What?
You hate losing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh man, he hates it real bad. I had to put him down on Twitter the other day. Sore loser, right? Yeah, he said, "No, I'm not." I said, "Yes, you are." He gets mad, man. And he doesn't tell the girls though. He just tells me how mad he is.
Because
He's
he's a
good.
winner.
He's a great coach.
The winner.
Yeah, that's what he wants to be.
And last question: if you could have dinner with three athletes, if it could be dead or alive, who would they be and why?
Uh, Michael Jordan because he's the greatest basketball of all time. Jordan Burroughs because he's one of the best wrestlers of all time. And who else? Maybe hmm, maybe Alex Rodriguez because I used to be a huge fan of him when I was a kid.
Yeah, I
used to
thought with
love
it.
these.
I thought with the name O'Toole, you were going to go with your boy Conor McGregor.
Cracker. Yeah, I know.
He's going to bring the Irish whiskey.
You put me on the spot here. You put me on the spot here.
It's all right.
All
right.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell Conor McGregor when I go to Ireland. Me and Steve are gonna meet him someday, right, Steve? We're gonna go to Ireland. We'll tell him Liam O'Toole. He'll be like, "Oh, that nice Irish boy." And he goes, "Oh, now I'm not gonna sign anything for him or wrestle him when he gets older." How old is he now?
I think he's 30 something.
30 something. All right. Well, I don't know how. It's like I said, I don't know how these guys are doing it. Like Tom Brady
I
and
know.
all these guys. Drew Brees. Michael Jordan played until he was in his late 30s. He might have played when he was 40.
LeBron James.
LeBron James is 30. I can't believe he's 30 something. Oh God.
Kobe played till 40.
Oh, who else? My boy.
Kyle Lowry. Yeah, he's getting up
Yes.
there. Steven went to Doherty while Kyle Lowry was there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. We saw his junior and senior year. Sophomore, yeah, because he came freshman year. He did what you did. He went from I think he went to Northeast his freshman year, and then he went to Doherty sophomore, junior, senior year. And they didn't lose. They were like you. They didn't lose many games, man. That's great. Your high school career has great record and everything. Look, it's been great interviewing you, right, Steve?
Yeah, thank you, man.
No, thank you. This is awesome.
All right. Well, thanks for
Anytime.
taking the time out of your busy schedule at school, man.
Mhm.
No, you're good.
All right. Well, go get him next year, man.
Welcome.
Go
All
get
right,
him next year. Take care.
I say,
See ya.